Hello, and thank you for joining us. This is No Soundbites Allowed, and I am your host, Michael Voss, Dragon of the Southern Tier. I'm happy to be here with you today. It is September 6th, pretty early in the morning, but I wanted to get back with you after the Labor Day holiday to speak with you about what's happening to our economy. What is the news that just broke while most Americans were out barbecuing? There has been a major change that is going to affect the recession. It's going to affect your bills. It is going to change the lives of many, many millions of Americans. And so we want to talk with you about that. Now, before we get to that, I do want to mention, if this is the first time that you are seeing our channel, we welcome you and we thank you for being part of our audience. We want you to know that we do long-form political commentary. And every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a live stream with you. We reach out on all the social media that the internet overlords will allow to hear your voice, to speak with you about the issues that matter to you, to take your calls, your tweets, your chats every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. to hear what you have to say from anywhere in the world, because we believe in the First Amendment. We believe in your right to speak, especially about the issues that affect you. And we hope that you will join us this Sunday and every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to share your voice. While most Americans were away on the holiday, either traveling or with family and friends, they were out barbecuing or just even sitting back and relaxing, a lot of things changed. But before we get to that, I want to remind you of something that you probably don't remember. It was back in 2008. It was then Senator Barack Obama, as he was on the campaign trail trying to become president. And he was asked by the San Francisco Chronicle about the coal industry and electricity in America. And this is what he had to say at that time.
So if somebody wants to build a coal power plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
He wanted to bankrupt the coal industry. In fact, you may recall, he said, and we remember this because Politico remembers this, back in 2012, it was brought up again, that not only did Barack Obama say that it would bankrupt the coal-fired plants, but in fact, under his plans, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Necessarily skyrocket. An idea that was also echoed by his energy secretary, Stephen Chu, an individual who wanted to increase the cost of gasoline in America to match the prices at the European Union, to necessarily skyrocket the cost of energy in America. It was the entire Obama-Biden administration. It's important to remember, this wasn't a choice they were giving you. They didn't say, choose green energy, and you may have an extra cost that you'll have to deal with because wind and solar and geothermal, biodiesel, none of it's as effective as oil, gas, coal, or nuclear. No, they're not giving you that choice. They want to force you to have to accept their will, because if you were given the choice of something that was efficient versus green energy, which isn't, you would pick the efficient choice. It's more cost effective to you. That's why on January 21st of 2021, he shut down the XL pipeline. It's why on January 21st of 2021, he removed leases and licenses for oil and gas exploration and drilling, removing the ability for oil and gas companies to be able to get the oil and gas they could find, if they could find it, to bring it over into America so it could be processed so that you could have cheap gas and heating oil and electricity. With the Biden-Harris administration being weak, we saw that across the world there has been major disruptions. One of those things being that Russia took the opportunity to go into Ukraine. We all are aware that this is the 7th month of the Ukraine-Russia war. We know that. And we know that it has been a major factor in additionally increasing the cost of oil and gas. The reason why energy costs have gone up aren't just because of the war, because they started rising under the Biden administration long before that ever came to be the case. Back on January 24th, which is the first time that we saw the numbers after he took over, oil was $55 a barrel. Today, it's at $95 a barrel. That's over a 40% increase in the cost. It's one of the reasons why energy costs are up over 90% for American citizens. The cost around the world has gone up, in part because Joe Biden hasn't been helping American citizens, he's been helping the progressive ideology. In fact, the rest of the world is looking at, as an example, the European Union. As reported by Reuters, the European Union races to shield industry as Russian gas stoppage shakes the markets, reported on September 5th. You see, while most Americans were on vacation, Russia turned off the oil and gas going to Germany and the rest of the European Union. This is energy they need to get through the winter. This is the energy they need to heat their homes. This is the energy they need for their businesses, especially those businesses that are producing the goods for America, because under the Obama-Biden administration, we stopped being a manufacturing country and we became a service country, which is why energy prices have gone up 400% in just the last year. It's not just Russia and Ukraine, it's America no longer being energy independent and going out to buy energy, competing with Europe and the United Kingdom, driving the price of energy up. Now, the response that we've heard from individuals in the Biden-Harris administration have been, well, just buy an electric car. In fact, we heard that from the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Just buy an electric vehicle. Then you'll never have to worry about gas prices again. That's what he had to say. In fact, he said this on MSNBC's The Sunday Show with Jonathan Capehart. And he said, people who have been benefited the most from owning an electric vehicle are often rural residents who have the most distances to drive, who burn more gas, and underserved urban residents in areas where there are higher gas prices and lower income. They would gain the most by having that electric vehicle. These are very residents who have not always been connected to electric vehicles that are viewed as a kind of luxury item. That's because these are luxury vehicles. Your average electric vehicle costs somewhere in the range of $40,000, $50,000, $70,000, $80,000. Now, most Americans can't afford a mortgage for a vehicle, as well as trying to pay rent for their homes and the higher electricity prices, the energy costs that go whether you're renting or owning. And in fact, most Americans can't afford the cost of replacing the battery either to upkeep these vehicles. We have seen, and it has been verified by USA Today, it is true and fact-checked that replacing the electric battery on a Volt, a Chevy Volt, not even the higher tier of electric vehicles, a Chevy Volt could cost as much as $26,853. Now, I don't know about you, but most people in America don't have an extra $27,000 just laying around. And that's, by the way, plus $27,000 just for the part. When you add in the labor, well, now you are talking about $30,000 to replace the battery. Literally, you could buy a brand new car for that money, and many people would have to. So imagine you bought the car, and now you have to buy another one to replace the car because you can't replace the battery. You can't fix the car. That's a problem. That's a big problem that most Americans can't deal with. Gas is still needed to make the electricity you need to use for that electric vehicle. But Pete Buttigieg's answer is, well, we're just going to make this easier for you to charge up. Oh, did we forget? To have that electric vehicle, you can't charge it everywhere you need to. There aren't charging stations every 100 miles that many of these electric vehicles can only go 100 miles before they need to recharge. Money that America doesn't have, the spending that we have been seeing from the Biden administration that caused the inflation that we have right now and the reason why we're in a recession. Pete Buttigieg's answer is, just spend more. It doesn't matter. That's a pretty scary thing. But even worse, then you get Stephen Colbert, who mocks Americans. Yes, the progressive left is laughing at American citizens as they're stuck between this rock and a hard place that they didn't have a choice to be put into. That drove up the cost for everyone in the world and put us into a trap where Russia had so much power that they could increase the cost of energy by 400% against the European Union. Stephen Colbert laughs at Americans. He's laughing at us because he can afford $15 a gallon. He doesn't care. He can afford an electric vehicle. He can afford $30,000 batteries. He can afford that. Most Americans can't. The average cost in America is right now $3.79. But depending on where you are, if you're anywhere on the West Coast, you're paying up to $5.29. If you even in the East Coast, you may be spending somewhere around $4 a gallon. These are highs. This is almost double what we were paying just a year and a half ago. So most Americans are being hurt badly by the policies of the Biden-Harris administration. In fact, it's so bad that a member of the left, a Mr. Skylar Baker Jordan, he's the contributing editor of the Gay UK magazine. He has written for The Independent, left-leaning, The Huffington Post, left-leaning, Salon, left-leaning, Daily Dot, left-leaning, The Advocate, left-leaning, Pink News, very left-leaning. He is a leftist. Had to say, stop sneering at people worried about gas prices. The working class is bearing the brunt of this. If you somehow were able to afford the electric vehicle that Pete Buttigieg said you have to get, if you are able to afford the electric vehicle just like Stephen Colbert as he laughed about your plight, well, the fact is you can't even charge it up. Looking at California, one of the leading states pushing this ideology of progressive energy, California officials warned that rolling blackouts are possible and that people in California have to have twice the power consumption. Even if you got the electric vehicle, you're no longer paying for gas, you still can't charge up your electric vehicle. You still are going to be subject to the energy, the higher cost of energy that most Americans are dealing with. Higher energy costs with wasteful spending and just printing more and more money is inflationary. That's why America is in a recession now. And the fact is that energy costs are not going down. Not as Europe is desperate to find the energy that they can't get from Russia and they can't get from the United States. And since the United States is competing with Europe and the United Kingdom for that energy, the cost is going higher. And that's part of the reason why our prediction is that we will be in a recession until 2024 at the least. That's the best case scenario. But we started this talking about OPEC. OPEC, as reported by CNBC on September 5th, while most Americans were on vacation, decided that they are going to cut production of oil, which means the cost of oil and gas are going to go up. As of October 5th, the cost of energy to you is going to jump in the middle of the winter when you most need more energy to heat your homes. Whether you're using electric or whether you're using gas or oil, it doesn't matter. The price is going to go higher because even if you're using electricity is created by gas turbines or coal turbines, oil turbines, or nuclear. And nuclear is not an option that progressives will allow. So all of the energy producing countries are agreeing that they're going to cut barrels by 100,000 per day. Why is it 100,000? It's a very specific number. Why exactly that increase? Well, if you remember, last month, Joe Biden went over to Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia wouldn't talk to Joe Biden. And Joe Biden begged Saudi Arabia and OPEC to increase the amount of production to help America. And they increased it by 100,000 barrels a day. It's almost meaningless. But it was enough. It was a reduction. It was a statement that they were willing to work with America just a little bit. That they had maybe a little respect for Joe Biden. Except they don't. Right after Joe Biden left Saudi Arabia, China decided to have a conversation with Saudi Arabia. And it seems this is the result. 1 month later, OPEC, Saudi Arabia, have decided that they're going to kill the deal they made for Joe Biden. This is a smack in the face of Joe Biden. This is saying they have no respect nor any fear of the political power or leadership of Joe Biden. Now, whether you believe or agree with that doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, what that means to you is that the price is going to go higher. Not just because there's going to be less oil and gas available, but because everyone knows that Joe Biden can't negotiate with OPEC and reduce the price. He already tried, he's already failed, which means there is no relief coming from Joe Biden's leadership, nor is there any relief coming from green energy, because even if they wanted to try and switch to green energy, it takes 2 years to build a solar plant, a wind farm, geothermal. Any of the green energy ideas take at least 18 months to build. And because you decided you want to have a gas-powered car, because you dare to get energy from coal power plants and oil power plants reliably and consistently, well, then you have to be punished. Look at California. They're having blackouts. They can't make the power they need. So the only other answer is make it too expensive for you to use the energy so that the grid can work fine. I wish I had better news for you coming back from the holiday. But the reality is, Joe Biden failed America. If he was a leader, OPEC would have increased the amount of barrels they were producing. If he was a leader, they wouldn't have stopped that production in just 1 month. If he was a leader, we would have America as an energy independent nation, able to help our allies in the European Union and in the United Kingdom. We have said since January of 2022, we have been warning you to prepare for the economic downturn. We have tried to give you every indication we can ahead of time, as soon as possible, to tell you to prepare for the worst. We're doing that again today. It's going to be a bumpy ride. The recession is going to be long and it's going to be deep. Inflation is going to be high and interest rates are rising. You have to be prepared. And now we know OPEC has absolutely no concern about how much you have to pay. Stephen Colbert is going to continue to laugh at you. Stephen Chu, Barack Obama, Pete Buttigieg, President Biden, they're all going to relax and sit in their homes with electric vehicles and all of your tax dollars and not be concerned. But maybe you think I'm wrong. Maybe you think this is good news, that OPEC is reducing its production, that the price of oil will go higher in the winter when you need it the most. Maybe you think that green energy will be available faster than the 2 years it takes to build the power plant. Maybe you think green energy is more reliable than oil and gas, even though it's never been that way. Whatever your reasoning, we like to hear it. We look forward to seeing your comments, and most of all, we look forward to seeing you every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to tell us what you think about the issues that are affecting us all. We thank you, and we hope you have a great day. I know you've heard it before. What difference does it? You make the difference. When you watch, chat, tweets, your likes and shares, and your subscription, you make the difference. From across the world, you help us to keep the lights on and the stream alive. You are making the difference to fight the woke and the crazy legislation that we see before. We at No Soundbites Allowed, and I want to thank you for everything that you do in helping us reach our goal, and your likes, your tweets, your comments, and your subscriptions to the channel. We want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. And this is a special thank you to those who have donated to the channel and helped us in all of our efforts. We will strive to make this channel the best that we possibly can, because you deserve no less. Thank you.